trading is hard enough. But what if I told you there's a way to trade smarter, not harder, using nothing but AI? In this game, even a 1% edge can be the difference between winning and losing. But what if AI could build that edge for you automatically? This trader claims to have built a $1,000 per trade system with Chat GPT and automated it using nothing but TradingView. Is this the edge that traders like you and I have been waiting for? Or is it just another overhyped gimmick? Today, we're going to break down his strategy, results, and expose the one crucial detail that could make or break this entire strategy's success. This is how I use Chat GPT AI to make $1,000 per trade step by step.
Trading strategies do not have to be complicated. In fact, the best trading strategies in the world are exceedingly simple.
The best trading strategies are the simplest trading strategies. Now, why? Because execution is the difference between the best and the ones that are constantly losing money. And the simpler a strategy is, the more consistently you'll be able to execute that strategy.
But now, with the power of Chat GPT and TradingView, you can begin to program and model your own trade ideas without any additional help.
Okay, so the possibility that we're going to look at in this video is what if you could automate your execution so that the possibility of trading psychology screwing you up, of over trading, of FOMOing into bad trades completely gets eliminated because you just have the computer execute your strategy for you. That's an interesting idea, but I'm skeptical.
I'm going to show you exactly, step by step, how this is really possible right now. Let's get into it. Hey guys, okay. So we've got ourselves to the tools that we absolutely need in order to be able to create a trading system.
Okay, so we got the tools. The first one is ChatGPT. This is a free tool. You can get it at chatgpt.com. This is going to be demonstrated with ChatGPT 4.0 for the script creation with PineScript. Now, PineScript is inside TradingView. So in order to follow along here, you're going to need ChatGPT and TradingView, both free tools, okay? So I recommend them. Use the link in the description, and I've got it linked up for you.
That we can then use to trade live. Right now, I have ChatGPT open, GPT 4.0. Now, I have a subscription, a $20 subscription. I recommend if you really want to do AI, you pay for the subscription, but it's not necessary. You can get the free one, and it will also produce the code that I'm going to show you. And we have TradingView here on the other chart with US 30 as our chart. We're going to do a very, very simple, clean, moving average strategy. But remember, ChatGPT, although it understands human language, is not human. It's a computer. So you want to talk to it the way you would talk to a computer or to an engineer, meaning that what you want to do is be very, very specific in the directions that you give it. Right?
And also clear, right? What you want to do with your strategy, whether you decide to automate your strategy or not, what you need is clarity, because clarity is how you move from struggling with your strategy to becoming very consistently profitable. It's all about clarity. So this will be an exercise for you if you're going to try this to get clear on exactly what your trading strategy is, or at the very least, maybe you don't have a trading strategy yet. What clarity within a trading strategy looks like as an example for you to move towards.
Right now, I'm just simply going to ask it to produce a TradingView indicator that is a moving average crossover with a 10-period moving average and a 100-period moving average. And let's see what it comes up with.
Now, I like moving average strategies. I use a moving average, and I can show you on my chart. I like to have the moving average on my chart, and I recommend all traders have the moving average on their chart because all markets use moving averages, essentially. Whether you use VWAP, the A and the P in VWAP is average price, okay? Or use the EMA. I use the EMA. Now, I have the EMA. You can see in the top left-hand corner, that's one of my indicators. And what you can do is you can look, like, let's say if we look at the daily chart, you can just very simply say, okay, if this is the moving average, this blue line, is most of the recent price action, most of the recent candles above or below that blue line? And if most of the price action is above it, that means the market's generally bullish. And if most of the price action is below it, that means the market is generally bearish. So the reason why I like moving average strategies is because all markets are designed to facilitate the maximum amount of trades, and the maximum amount of trades are at a price where buyers and sellers are both participating, which is the average price. So it's a good strategy for that reason, because all markets basically are trying to come back to the moving average over and over and over again.
So we're going to say, please create a Pine script code, because that's the language that TradingView writes in, Pine script code, that is an indicator of two moving averages that are user defined, meaning that the user can change those values anytime he wants. Let's start with 10 period and 100 period as default. Please make labels for buy and sell at the key crossovers. And let's see what it will do.
Okay, so a basic crossover strategy. All right, so we got the strategy components here. So the first one, as he just outlined, is the moving average crossovers with the 10 period and the 100 period moving averages being utilized. Okay, and the next we'll get into is the time filter, and he's going to talk about actually putting your trade specifically in a certain time period, which is how most traders trade. You know, most traders, they trade the open when there's the most action moving, right in the first hour or two of the market, or at the close. So let's see what he does with that.
It tells you creating a Pine script code for trading indicator using two moving averages. We'll use the inputs here, and it says short input, long moving average input, right? And it's telling you that it's going to plot those images over here in the code. And it's going to, I think
Now, if this is overwhelming to you or it looks confusing, don't worry about it, because he's literally not even going to touch this. Like I said in the opening of the video, he's just going to copy and paste this into TradingView. So you don't have to know what any of this means.
The short one is going to be blue, and the long one will be red. And the buy signal will be when it crosses over, when the short crosses over the long. Short moving average, meaning the short value moving average, and the sell will be the other way around. And it's going to just simply plot those for us. Let me just copy this code here and show you exactly what it's done. I'm going to go in here. I'm just going to simply, all we're going to do is we're going to go into Pine Editor in TradingView and just literally copy and paste this code.
So I don't know if you've ever seen this before in TradingView. So if you want to see this, pull up TradingView, and what you can do is just go down here and you can actually click Pine Editor. Do you see that on my chart? You just click this little button here that says Pine Editor, and you can actually play around with and experiment with these automated trading strategies, just like he's doing. So if you want to follow along, just go there and hit that tab, and you can do this for yourself as we move step by step here.
We're going to save it. And it's going to ask us for, moving average, and just gives us a name, custom moving average. I'm going to say save. Okay. Yes. Okay. And once it's moved over, we're going to say add it to the chart. And now we have it added to the chart. And it actually created exactly what I wanted, which is like a buy label over here, a sell label over here, a buy label over here. However, what you see here is that you can't really see the letters buy and sell inside of the label. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to Chat GPT and say, make label text in white. And it's all you kind of actually need to do. So it understands that it just wants you, it wants you to modify the code that it's already written. So it sort of understands the conversation that you started with it. And you will simply just be able to just rewrite the code. So now I'm going to just copy the code, and let's see if this comes up and does a good job for us.
So if it makes an error like that, you just go back, modify, and then recopy and paste it. And it makes it really easy to do.
Just delete that, copy, paste it in here, save it. And look how cool this is.
Boom, just
now
like that.
It's telling us buy, sell. You can actually see the symbols. I can get a little bigger. You guys can see the labels. And, here they are. They're giving us all the labels, showing us, buy, sell signals. And we actually have a interesting prototype of a strategy, right? So here's a strategy.
Okay, so if it's selling here and it's buying here, I don't think I like that, but let's keep watching.
Strategy that shows us buy, sell.
Right, if you're selling here, why would you be selling here and buying here, right? Unless you bought down here and then you're selling here, but let's see.
Points on a chart or in the US 30. I'm going to just
Okay, it looks like he did. So he bought down here. So look at that trade. This is a banger trade, okay? Now that you zoom to the left, you can see this. So if you're buying here, you're getting this whole move up, and then you're selling here. Do you see how using the moving average, just simply using the moving average for a trade, can be so powerful and so simple all at the same time? This is a very simple thing that you can see on any chart, any time frame, whether it's crypto, futures, stocks, you name it, Forex. You can use moving averages to identify some very powerful and easy to see trades like this, where you buy here and then notice this is when you're just taking off from the moving average, right? And then we're coming back down and we're closing below the moving average, and that's when he's selling.
We make it auto fits all data so you can actually see it here from the thing. You see, this is now, understand, I'm on a New York time zone, right? UTC my.
Okay, and just to point out the details here, there's two moving averages on the chart, right? You've got a red line and a blue line. And notice that this strategy is looking for when the two cross and taking action, okay? So every time those two cross, there's an action that's going to be taken. Notice the blue line crosses here and it buys. And then the blue line and the red line cross here again and it sells. Blue and red line cross here, buy, okay? And then look, they touch almost, but they don't cross. Up, and then they cross there, and that's when they sell, okay? So it's a cross. That's how this strategy works.
-5. So this is US 30. So if you're looking over here, this would be effectively last Thursday. So, oh, this is November 23rd. What is this? Oh, we're in a 1 hour chart. Never mind. I'm sorry. I wanted to go on a 1 minute chart. Okay, forget it. I just want to go to a super.
And notice, you could be on a 1 hour chart. You can be on a 1 minute chart. Price action is price action. Does not matter what time frame you trade. You use whatever time frame works for you.
For short-term strategy. I was like, wow, we really went far. So this is just Friday's data, which is what I really wanted, because I want to show you how we can look at this on an intraday basis and create an interesting strategy. Already, just from looking at this, we can see some interesting developments that happen in this particular just moving average crossover. Nothing more.
Again, cross here, sell, cross here, buy, right? Another great trade there as well.
Complicated than just a moving average crossover, right? So one of the things that you see here as I'm scrolling through the data, and I'm going to get smaller here, maybe we'll go for a couple more days, right? We'll go backwards. What do you see that on the chart that kind of jumps out at you? You know what jumps out at me? See here is that basically there's nothing interesting going on until about 7, 8 o'clock New York, maybe 9 o'clock New York.
Now,
right?
why is that? Because this is consolidation, right? This is a trading range where we're just kind of going sideways, right? We're kind of like stuck in this. It's called a range because you're stuck in this range. It's like this box that you kind of stuck inside of. And there's just not a lot of movement, right? It's like the price is trapped, right? It's like trapped in this little sort of, prison, okay? In price action prison. And it's waiting for a breakout. And if you want to break out of the jail, then that's when you get a breakout. And when the price breaks out of the jail, that's when you get a big trend, when you can make big money. But when it's in here, this is a good way to lose money. And it's basically just like, you want to avoid consolidation, generally speaking. So let's see if he can engineer this automated strategy to eliminate the trading when you see price action like this, because that's what you want to do. You want to add some type of filter so that it does not waste your money when the price looks like this.
Right. And then from 9 o'clock New York, what you get is really, really big, nice moves, right? This whole buy, sell move, that's an interesting move. That's an interesting move. So what does this tell us? This is telling us that New York Open is perhaps the most productive and interesting time for us to look for buy-sell signals.
Okay, so now we're going to get into the time filters, like I said. So let's see how we can add a time filter so that the trades are executed only during the open, which is when most of those big moves are happening.
So what if we decided to do the following? What if we said to the code, hey, modify this code so that it only shows me the buy-sell crossovers during a specific time in the New York time zone, or any time zone, but in particular during the New York Open. Let's see what happens next. We're going to ask Chat GPT to create a filter function for us, basically to say that we only want to be able to trade during specific hours, and we want that to be user-defined. We want the user to tell the Chat GPT exactly when to turn those signals on and when to turn them off. So what we're going to say is, and since everything in trading really trades around universal time, UTC time, which is GMT time, let's convert everything into UTC and then use those as our input functions. So the first thing I'm going to say is, please create user inputs in UTC time when the signals will be valid. Let's see if it understands that. To add user input for a time window in UTC during which the signals will be valid, you can use PineScript input function to let the user specify start and end times. PineScript handles times in Unix format, seconds since epoch, so you'll need to convert the user input to this format. Remember that trading platforms typically convert all times to the exchange time zone, so you need to account for this if you're using UTC. Here's how you can modify this script. You see how the computer knows all these things, Chat GPT, and actually walks you through step by step. So it tells you, here's, we're going to create a start hour, start minute, end hour, end minute, and it's going to say if time is valid. It's going to give you a function here, and then the buy signal is only going to occur if time is valid, and sell signal is only going to occur if time is valid. Save it here, and look, it actually created a code that filtered the time for us. You see that
again, you don't really have to know what any of that code is doing. You just copy and paste it in to PineScript, like I showed you at that the bottom portion in TradingView, and then you just click save, and that's it.
there's only like really kind of almost quality type of filters here, right? The buy and the sells have like really nice little movements, and we're kind of ignoring all these fake buyouts or this consolidated buyouts that it's done, which is really, really interesting, right? Now, once we look at the fact,
so you can see, like, there's no buying and selling here to the left. Like, that was that consolidation zone, right? It's like we pointed out, this price action prison. We want to stay out of prison, okay? And then as soon as we get this breakout, yay, we broke out of price action prison. Now we're trending up, right? Big bull breakout, pullback, holds above the moving average right here. Do you see that? The blue line, so we're holding above the moving average. Notice all these closes are now above the moving average, and we're trending up, okay? And we're buying right there after that pullback, which is a great entry. And then we're selling here right after that trend has pushed up 1, 2, 3 pushes up, right? That's a wedge top. So you've got, or a triple top, call it whatever you want. And then as we're trending down and starting to reverse to the downside, we're selling. That's actually a pretty solid entry and exit. Buying here and selling here. All done with this automated script.
the code is just now filtered by time, so it only gives us much better quality signals. We can take it even one step further. We can take a look at this and notice something very interesting. Price action tends to extend for a certain amount of time and then mean revert. What I mean by that is, like, to get a good signal, there's a quality amount of profit that happens as the signal goes in, and then the signal kind of reverses, and we give up a lot of that profit. So one of the things that we could take a look at here is you could say, you know what would be really, really good is if we started to clip a certain amount of pips out of this move just by letting us know it's moved a certain amount. Let's say we want to take 100 points, a triple-digit profit out of this move. Not get too greedy, just take the clip move as the move happens and walk away without profit instead of having to just try to milk it for more and more and then see it disappear in front of our eyes.
Interesting idea. Okay, so just coming up with ideas, filters really, and whether you're trying to automate your trading strategy or you're not, what you want to be looking for constantly are what filters can I add to my strategy that'll make things even more profitable. So here we're just looking at the profit target as one possible filter. And in this case, a target of 100 points per trade is established, or 100 pips.
So we're going to ask the code to create the following modification. We're going to say, we want you to go in there and give us a signal when it's made 100 points either up or down after a sell or buy signal, and that will give us the perfect exit opportunity to collect during the day. Let's see if we can do that. So we're going to say, now look at this code and create a condition for us where if the price increases by plus 100 from the buy entry or decreases by minus 100 from the sell entry, you make a label, and that label will be actually our exit label. So we're going to ask it to do that. It's actually done it for me already. So let's see if it's just going to modify the script again. But
so the prompt is read the script and create a label if price increases by 100 points from the buy entry or decreases by 100 points from the sell entry. Make the label say plus 100. Okay, so let's see.
Script I wrote out ahead of time just to save us time. And you can see that it modified the script here to give us a plus 100 minus 100 over here. So I'm going to copy this code. I'm going to go right back in here. We're going to come back into our code editor right here, erase everything that we did before, and just paste this new code inside. It's going to say save, and what you're going to see, which is really, really cool, is look, exits plus 100, minus 100. Now, not only do we have a very interesting strategy, but we have a hardcore exit entry strategy that kind of banks profits for us in a triple digit format. So we'll start at 8 o'clock. So this particular sell signal starts at around 37,225. And then we're basically going to reverse ourselves on the buy signal, right? So the buy signal comes in probably at around somewhere around here at 261. So we sold at 225 and we buy back at 261. We lose essentially 40 points. No problem. But we're now long the position, and the next exit for us is plus 100. So if we are...
So you're losing 40 to make 100? That's not bad, right?
Minus 40 plus 100 would now make plus 60. Then we get another sell signal, and instead of just kind of waiting for the ultimate profit, we just take our profit at plus 100. And now, basically in an afternoon, 3 simple trades, we've eliminated all the noise, all the garbage. We've been able to lose a small amount on the crossover, capture 100 points on the first crossover, capture 100 points on the second crossover. That's essentially, effectively, 160 points in a super easy, sneezy way. Who tells you that moving average crossovers doesn't work? It works really well.
Yeah, why? And like I said in the beginning of the video, like all markets on all time frames, whether you're trading futures, Forex, crypto, whatever, even stocks, everything is constantly coming back to that average price because the goal of all markets is to facilitate the maximum amount of trades, the maximum amount of transactions. And so that's where the most transactions are occurring, is at the place where the buyers think it's a good price and the sellers think it's a good price. That's where you're going to have the maximum amount of transactions, which is why moving average strategies are one of the best strategies there is, okay? So the strategy logic, if we move to what we've set up here under our conditions with this strategy, for buy conditions, we've got a buy signal triggered when the 10-point moving average, 10-period moving average crosses above the 100-period moving average, right? And then our sell conditions, where that a sell signal would be triggered when the 10 MA crosses below the 100 MA. We added this filter for trading hours. Now look at your trading and look at your strategy regardless of whether or not you're trying to automate your strategy or not. Look at the time frames when you are the most profitable and consider the possibility of only trading those time frames. It's one of the best and easiest things you can do to increase your trading results. In this case, trades are only made between defined hours within the New York session, which is right during that open first couple hours of the day. And then the exit strategy, as we just pointed out, trades are exited after achieving 100 points or negative 100 points for short positions, okay? So he's just saying, listen, if we get 100 points, take the money and get out, all right? So those are the different components of the strategy. We've got everything outlined, including the tools, the strategy, components, the strategy, logic, and next we'll get to the key insights.
As long as you can tell the computer when and how to take the profits. And with the help of Chat GPT and TradingView, we're able to create this incredibly simple but yet very effective strategy. So look how cool this strategy works. You can see that, for example, in NASDAQ yesterday, we had a 50-point move, and then just before the end of the session, if we caught this buy over here, it was good for 50 and 100-point moves. These moves can be thousands of dollars on a couple of contracts at Apex. That's very, very important to understand. For example, a 100-point move in NASDAQ is $20 a point. That's a $2,000 trade right here that you could have registered simply following this very, very simple strategy. Here's how it traded today. We had a move of a 50-point another big wave of 50 point. And then in the afternoon, if you had stayed around, you could have also had another 50 point move to the downside and a 100 point move. That's another 2,000 point altogether profit, in addition to the $1,000 profits that you could have had here on a single large contract. But it's not all. You could have also traded the YM or the Dow, where the moves were here at 50 in the morning, and then another 50 and 100 point move over here. Now the Dow, the moves are $5 a contract, so this would have been a $500 move here today. Very, very nicely done. And then yesterday, same kind of a thing. You had a 50 point move and a 100 point move all together during this very key trading time. So you can see how well and how efficient this strategy is. Basically, one shot, one kill makes a great trade in the morning. You're done, and it's a great way to go towards your target goal of getting funded with Apex Trading.
Let's get to some of these insights, okay? So the key insights noted in the video. First of all, best trading period, right? Look at that. Do you have your most profitable trades on the open, or do you have your most profitable trades 30 minutes into the open, an hour into the open? You know me, I actually like to wait 30 minutes to an hour to place my first trade on the open, right? So for me, that's Pacific time. So that's going to be 6:30 to 7:30. I'm chilling. And then after 7:30, I'm looking for a trade. What about for you? When are the most profitable trading periods of time? Look at those, because if you keep your trades within that time frame, it can be one of the easiest things you can do to increase your profits. The second one is code optimization. Notice the Chat GPT optimized the code to include time-based filters. All you had to do was ask it, and then it gave you that code. You don't have to know what that code means. You don't have to get intimidated by that at all. You just say, hey, change this about it, fix this about it, add this filter. I want 100 point moves. I want only trading during these time frames. And then it redoes the code. It gives you the code. You just copy it. And then you could literally copy it and close your eyes and paste. You don't even have to know what any of that means, okay? And then potential profit on the NASDAQ, you're looking at $1,000 per profit potential on those trades if you're looking for those kind of moves, say 100 point moves, okay? Now, there's some pitfalls. There are absolutely some pitfalls you got to watch out for. So let's look at the potential pitfalls. Pitfalls. One of them is overfitting. There's a risk of overfitting to specific times. And that's something that you could actually, it's a trap, right? Because if you look at, there's a certain amount of occurrences, right? Like let's say you see a pattern that happens at 7 a.m. Pacific, and you see that happening in the past 2 weeks. If you just say, okay, I'm just going to have that be limited to that one pattern, your sample size is not big enough, right? So sometimes you actually need to look at more data. In fact, you have to look at more data before you make decisions. In the video, all he did, and this is the one thing I don't like about this video, he just looked at like a few examples. It wasn't a very extensive back test. And if you want the back test to be real and valid, then you need to include a lot of examples, not just one or two from this chart and that chart, okay? So be more thorough. The answer is being thorough. If you want a strategy to work, you got to be very thorough, and he wasn't very thorough in this video. The next is market conditions. Potential pitfall of market conditions means ignoring broader market conditions such as news volatility. Okay, volatility can be detrimental. And let's take like the election, for example, or let's say there's this conflict continually in the Middle East, okay, with the Israelis and the Palestinians. Let's say that ramps up again suddenly. That will have an effect on the markets if there's something significant happening there, okay? And if you are trading, you don't want to be blind to that stuff, okay? So consider market conditions. Also, when you have the Fed make an announcement about interest rates, all markets across the world are affected by that. Make sure that you're taking that into consideration and not just thinking you can just set it and forget it. On a day like that, just not having your strategy running can be really powerful, or waiting, okay, until the market levels out a little bit and then turning it back on can be really helpful as well. So that's the market condition pitfall. And then there's the psychological traps. Traders can fall into psychological traps by chasing every signal. And that's one of the biggest pitfalls of trading in general. But also, if you automate your strategy, that goes away, okay? The reason why I like the idea, and you have to test your own, you have to do your own testing with trading and with everything, okay? But one of the things I love about the idea of automating your trading strategy and using AI is that it really gives you the possibility of reducing or possibly even eliminating human error, which is amazing. Now, if you want more details on my strategy and how I trade, I recommend you go to tradesbybren.com. I invite you to check out my free downloadable PDF, and I'll give it to you for free. I will share with you my 3 favorite trades, including the 3 patterns I look for, how I set my stop loss so I limit my risk, and then also how I take my profit targets so I can get that before it's too late, okay? Because you got to take your profits, as you saw in the video, you have to take your profits before it's too late. Otherwise, that move reverses against you. So if you want to see how I do it, maybe you could get some ideas for your own strategy, go to tradesbybren.com. And if you want to know the tools that I use, the platform I use to trade, I've got it linked up in the description. You can see that there as well. And if you liked this video, I recommend you watch this one next. 10 insanely useful ways of using Chat GPT with your trading, where I take live trades using Chat GPT's advice. Click here to watch that now, and I'll see you in the next video.